Monitoring the watercraft on the horizon helps me assess any approaching threats to our quiet sector. Checking the rig's internal logistics calendar is crucial for tracking our remaining days on this coastline. Holding a warm ration of morning fluid prepares my body for the harsh elements waiting outside. Stepping cautiously out of the vehicle, I immediately begin my daily assessment of the immediate beach front. Moving along the exposed waterline gives me a clear line of sight against potential morning hazards. Shielding my eyes from the intense glare, I track my position alongside the fortified coastal walls. Wading into the shallows provides a tactical advantage by masking my tracks from any pursuing trackers. Carefully navigating the jagged stone barriers prevents debilitating foot injuries during this critical daily patrol route. The deserted sandy stretch ahead signals a temporary safe zone where I can finally drop my guard. Plunging my boots into the clear water cools my core temperature against the rising solar heat. Enjoying a brief moment of freedom in the ocean reminds me why this survival path matters. Taking another sip of my liquid rations, I let the cool breeze wash over my face. Finding a dry patch of sand, I finally sit down to rest my weary traveling legs. Sprawling out on the shoreline helps me conserve vital stamina before the upcoming scavenging run begins. Stretching out my arms toward the sea feels like claiming this little piece of harsh territory. With energy levels stabilized, I soak in the coastal warmth one last time before moving out. Returning to the mobile base, I secure the hatches and prepare to brief you on today's mission. I've developed a serious craving for local olive rations, so we must head to the market. I am planning a special expedition tonight, something I have never attempted in this hostile sector. Since the temperature is already spiking, we need to mobilize quickly before the heat becomes unbearable. Realizing my fluid container has sand in it, I quickly abandon the idea of drinking it. Looking at the makeshift calendar, I am reminded that time passes fast in this isolated environment. Satisfied with the day's timeline, I prepare the primary transport vehicle for immediate coastal redeployment. The engine hums to life as we leave the secure beachhead behind for uncertain inland paths. Monitoring traffic at the crossroads is crucial because other scavengers rarely respect the right-of-way. Steering through the dense woodland cover provides temporary relief from the relentless glare of the sun. As we approach the populated zone, my anxiety rises over securing a viable vehicle docking space. Entering the busy settlement outskirts, I scan the perimeter desperately for any empty patches of asphalt. Navigating these tight urban corridors with a heavy rig requires intense focus to avoid structural damage. The lack of available clearings forces me to carefully maneuver around obstacles and other parked transports. Relying heavily on my rear cameras, I inch backward through the maze of abandoned civilian cars. Every turn of the wheel demands precision so we don't end up trapped in this chaotic bottleneck. Rejoining the main artery, I keep my eyes peeled for any newly opened gaps up ahead. Another massive overland vehicle suddenly blocks my path, initiating a tense standoff over territorial docking rights. Retreating into the cabin, I'll wipe the sweat off my brow after that brutal parking skirmish. It is unbelievable how rival survivors will ruthlessly try to hijack your spot without a second thought. Brushing off the stress, I feel grateful that karma intervened and let me secure the perimeter. That hostile encounter left me feeling completely drained and covered in uncomfortable, sticky defensive sweat. Gesturing toward the window, I silently cursed the aggressive scavengers who nearly wrecked my transport rig. Tying my hair back, I tried to regain my composure before venturing out into the outpost. Locking the cabin doors behind me, I move into the rear sleeping quarters to change gear. The sheltered area feels like a safe haven compared to the ruthless competition out on the streets. Pulling out my tactical supply case, I begin preparing my urban camouflage for the market infiltration. Carefully applying visual modifiers ensures I blend seamlessly with the local inhabitants of this coastal hub. A steady hand is required to finalize the details, masking any signs of my rigorous travels. Checking my comms device briefly, I get distracted by the digital tools keeping me financially afloat. Engaging with virtual simulations offers a crucial secondary income stream for maintaining my independent survival lifestyle. This brings me to today's essential resource broadcast regarding free cash, an application for generating quick funds. Completing specific digital tasks on this network allows you to earn credits for future fuel purchases. By simply running these modules during downtime, I ensure my electronic wallet remains adequately stocked up. The interface tracks your progress seamlessly, converting virtual objectives into tangible assets for the real world. With a fast withdrawal system, it is an optimal survival tool for any modern digital nomad. Once you hit the designated threshold, those funds can be instantly transferred to your main reserves. Verifying the successful digital transaction, I feel confident enough to proceed with today's outdoor market raid. Snapping the application shut, I finalize my appearance and grab my gear for the supply run. Taking one last glance in the mirror, I confirm my cover is solid for the settlement. Exiting the mobile base, the loud chirping of local insects greets me under the leafy canopy. The vibrant greenery surrounding this urban outpost hides the harsh reality of living on the road. Walking confidently down the paved walkways, my woven container is ready to hold the acquired provisions. Pausing to observe the territorial markings on the walls, I note the strange cultural dog murals. A lone avian scavenger scurries across the stone path, reminding me to keep a low profile. Glancing upward, more painted birds adorn the structures, serving as colorful waypoints through this unfamiliar maze. The narrow alleyways are beautifully deceiving, hiding the intense competition for resources occurring just ahead. Emerging from the shadows, I finally infiltrate the bustling marketplace filled with valuable local survival goods. Moving past the wooden trading stalls, I carefully assess the vendor offerings without drawing unwanted attention. Looking down at my successful haul, a wave of satisfaction hits me after securing the rations. Finding an established outdoor seating area, I prepare to consume some much-needed calories in relative safety. The dense crowds in the plaza indicate that this hub is heavily utilized by local factions. Settling at a corner table, I finally unpack my acquired goods from the woven transport box. Revealing the fresh produce, I quietly celebrate obtaining these high-value items during the midday scramble. Pouring out a clear hydration mix, I carefully monitor my intake to avoid depleting my reserves. Sipping the dark energy brew, my senses sharpen instantly against the backdrop of the noisy square. Biting into a solid carbohydrate stick, I slowly replenish the physical toll of this morning's maneuvers. Staring into the overhead foliage, I plan out the exact exfiltration route back to my rig. With my energy levels fully restored, I pack up my gear and begin the brisk walkout. Retreating up the quiet cobblestone stairs ensures I avoid the main thoroughfare's chaotic pedestrian traffic. Safely back inside the mobile shelter, I strip down and sprawl across the rear sleeping mat. Popping open the plastic container, the rich smell of the harvested olive rations fills the cabin. Examining the green morsels closely, I prepare to rank them against previous survival meals I've had. Chewing on the first bite, the intense saltiness perfectly replenishes the electrolytes lost in the sun. Holding up a piece of chicken protein, I acknowledge that this haul was remarkably well balanced today. Gesturing excitedly, I appreciate the gentle breeze sweeping through the rig's open rear cargo doors. The massive local insects are screaming outside, their noise echoing widely through the dense coastal brush. Eating in this isolated piece reminds me why securing an off-grid sanctuary is entirely worth it. Flashing a sign of triumph, I declare this feast an absolute success for our field operations. Saving the last few bites, I lean back against the wooden panels to properly digest everything. Reaching up toward the hanging floral camouflage, I let my muscles completely tense for a moment. To maintain high morale, I pull out my travel instrument to practice a few calming chords. Explaining tonight's strategy, I detail the upcoming open-air gathering happening down by the fortified docks. It is a rare communal event, promising some much-needed entertainment amidst the usual harsh survival grind. Strumming the strings quietly ensures I don't alert any neighboring survivors to my current hiding spot. The rhythmic vibrations help center my focus as dusk rapidly approaches over the wild coastal sector. Securing the instrument, I realize it's time to mobilize the transport before the light completely fails. Driving down the sun-baked highway, the shadows begin stretching dangerously long across the cracked asphalt. A fellow nomad on a two-wheeler passes by, signaling that others are also seeking the gathering. Following the convoy of vehicles, we edge closer to the designated rendezvous point for the night. Reapplying my tactical makeup in the fading light guarantees my disguise remains flawless under artificial illumination. Grabbing my woven supply box, I prepare to disembark into the potentially volatile nighttime crowd ahead. Walking cautiously past the abandoned storefronts, the cooling air offers a brief respite from the heat. Historical markers line the pathway, reminding me that countless generations have survived in this exact territory. The illuminated streets draw out diverse factions, forcing me to remain vigilant amidst the growing masses. Passing under the old clock tower, I check my mental map to confirm the final destination. Reaching the seawall, a massive makeshift screen dominates the horizon against the fading orange sky. Local provisioners are already distributing hot rations to the hungry crowd gathering near the water's edge. Staring up at the twinkling string lights, a strange sense of community washes over my defenses. Speaking quietly into my recording device, I document this extraordinary moment of peace in the wasteland. Laughing at the absurdity of the situation, I secure my microphone to continue the audio log. The sheer number of survivors united here proves that humanity still seeks connection despite the hardships. Settling into the plastic seating arrangement, I watch as a giant projector finally flickers to life. The visual broadcast captivates the audience, providing a brief escape from our daily struggle for resources. Staring into the deep blue sky, I let the flickering images wash over my exhausted mind. The cinematic transmission echoes across the harbor, binding everyone together in a shared collective memory. As the event concludes, I pitch in to dismantle the seating perimeter to respect the territory. Carrying the chairs away, the night fully descends, transforming the friendly hub back into uncertain darkness. Navigating the dimly lit pathways, I quickly recap the incredible emotional impact of the public screening. It is a rare privilege to experience such overwhelming unity in a world dominated by isolation. Sharing a piece of art with strangers makes the endless miles of solitary driving feel worthwhile. Pausing to catch my breath, the magic of the evening still resonates strongly within my chest. Looking out across the dark water, I feel tears of genuine gratitude threatening to spill over. Steeling myself, I briskly march past the locked-up galleries, aiming directly for the mobile shelter. Dodging the late-night scavengers on the street, my primary objective is reaching the vehicle safely unseen. The illuminated marina reveals massive watercraft belonging to factions with far more resources than I possess. Strolling alongside the glowing neon docks, I envy their heavily fortified positions against the coming storm. Fish darting through the artificially lit water below highlight the unnatural beauty of this coastal stronghold.